real quick Hail Marys.
And what happened?
And Lord, Lord, have mercy on my soul, I'm a sinner.
Yes.
And then we flew off the road.
You flew off the road?
Flew off the road, hitting some muck. Muck? Yeah, and then Melvin flew up and we didn't even have seatbelts at that time. Melvin kind of blew up half on the dashboard.
On the dashboard?
And wiped some shit off the window with his back.
Oh, no.
So we could see out, but we couldn't get out of the car. The doors were jammed. And we
You couldn't get out of the car? You couldn't see?
We couldn't see shit. And then we couldn't, nothing happened until somebody pounded on our window. And it was a State Highway Patrol.
State Highway Patrol?
Yeah, and he said, give me your driver's license and get in the back of my car and we're going to the police station.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then that was all good news. And then here's where the bad news started.
What happened?
He said, are you Mel White's kids?
Oh, Mel White.
He said, yeah, I recognize the name. Melvin White, Tom White.
Oh.
Get in the car.
I can see your finger.
Yeah. See, look.
What happened?
Well, it used to be like this.
Yeah.
And then the other night, I went to take a crap.
Take a crap?
Using Marge's word, not mine, but take a crap.
Take it and put it back.
And I went into the bathroom, so I walked down the hall, and Marge and Mel's door was wide open.
No.
So I decided that I'd go ahead and take a crap, like, quietly, but I went in there and I could hear the snoring and shit carrying on.
Snoring? Who was snoring?
So I just went out to, like, close the door so I'd have some privacy and I wouldn't bother them. And boom, when I reached for the door slammed and broke my finger and pushed it over like this.
Oh!
Hurt like hell. Look, you want to take a look?
Oh!
See if it looks different.
Oh, it looks different.
This audience is going to have to be.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was Melvin snoring or Marge snoring. Marge says she snores less and farts more. She doesn't know which one caused it, but she happened to leave her to be my witness. You might have that when she comes back.
This has relevance to thinking about the Big Bang Theory, about the creation of not the creation, but the beginning of our universe. Because the idea there is that all the matter was in one place. It was tremendously dense, and it expanded out, and all these planets and solar systems, etc., has been created from the Big Bang. The Big Bang was something much more dense than anything we see on Earth. So by making this system that's much more dense than anything we've ever seen on Earth before, we expect to learn something about the early universe, and we expect to learn something about the quark-gluon model.
The quark? The
quark. Okay. You know, there's four quarks in a gallon.
Okay.
Our depth field. Special relativity, the photoelectric effect, and Brownian motion were all measured previously. They're experimental discoveries, not theoretical discoveries. So you see, there are almost no cases in physics where somebody who is a theorist has actually made physics progress. And on the other hand, you say, well, you know, how can you be so smug if you're an experimentalist? And I'm not very smug, because as an experimentalist, you have these ideas why you want to go do an experiment, and you're lucky enough to be working on experiments where nobody's ever done anything like that before, like this quark-gluon plasma experiments. But in fact, the things that usually come out to be important are things that you don't expect. But you're one up on the theorists.
So all my possessions hanging from my back as the SWAT team breaks down the front door, cause I'm behind on my rent and the landlord come to pay me a visit. Yes, I'm evicted, convicted of being on the wrong side, and I'm convinced that this new state is taxation without representation, and I've watched this new state force the First Amendment to disappear, and I've experienced the protection of this new omnipotent police state of, by, and for the rich. Yes, I say it's high time to put on my wig and say goodbye, cause I got a lethal dose of the Hound Dog Taylor Hunter S. Thompson. Give me back my wig, I gotta get out of this town blues.
I wouldn't want to be his archivist right now. I never had a good time with that. But before you did, somebody mentioned ghosts in my bed. I'd tell you the closest thing to ghosts in my bed for Hunter, I think, before you reached this room, you had to pass his porch, and there was nothing in the porch except for a huge stand-up, cut-out poster of Bobby Kennedy walking alone, wearing his dead brother's flight jacket with the presidential seal. And that kind of captured to me Hunter wandering around trying to find some of the ideals and some of the beliefs that we all cherish and trying to capture them again in a world that continue to change. But anyway, the consummate host, and as Ron points out, very genteel, very cordial, not the person that a lot of people know through other means, and in fact, to try that, but usually he was always standing up greeting his visitors, hands in his pockets, blue jean jacket on, with the consummate greeting. Want to get high? That was all he said. And if you didn't, how does he? Oh, sure, take that. No problem. And so we're driving around, it's late at night, and we're going down on 3rd Street. In fact, this weekend, early with ocean fog still in the streets. Outlaw motorcycles wearing chains, shades, and greasy Levi's roll out of dump garages, all-night diners, and cast-off one-night pads in Frisco, Hollywood, Purdue, and East Oakland, heading for the Monterey Peninsula, north of Big Sur. The menace is loose again. The Hells Angels, the 100-carat headline, running fast and loud on the early morning freeway, low in the saddle, nobody smiles, jamming crazy through the traffic at 90 miles an hour down the center stripe, missing by inches, like Genghis Khan on an iron horse. A monster speed with a fiery anus, flat out through the eye of a beer can and up your daughter's leg, with no quarter asked and none given. Show the squares some class. Give them a whiff of those kicks they'll never know. Ah, these righteous dudes, they love to screw it on.
Thanks, Scott Swearingen. And I tell you what,
article transcripts, transcribed interviews, telephone conversations, these are the elements of a piece of aggressively gonzo journalism, Rigby wrote. He then quotes Thompson saying, "It is the idea of reporting based on William Faulkner's idea that the best journalism is, the best fiction is far more true than any kind of journalism." Thompson said in a 2000 Paris Review interview, "I usually just go with my own taste. I wasn't trying to be an outlaw writer. I've never heard of that term. Someone else made it up." While an outlaw journalist might take a dim view of deadlines, paltry word counts, and expense account limits, he is not a criminal, say, in the way that a journalist is who outs a covert CIA operative. That's a felony, by the way, if anybody bothers to prosecute. An outlaw journalist isn't a stenographer to the powerful, and would only run verbatim transcripts of White House press briefings to illustrate absurdity, never as a truth. But it's a postmodern world where a poseur like Googer, Gannon, whatever his name is, can get day passes as a White House correspondent so he can